Welcome into my top 20 drama television series list. And let's start at number 20 with Alfred Hitchcock Presents. You know, you kind of get inside the mind of Hitchcock here outside of his films as he's trying to develop this television series. Starts off strong, kind of fades a little bit. And so it had to make my list, but it resides here at number 20. At number 19, you're going to see a theme here. Cops, criminals, creativity. That's kind of my wheelhouse. That's what I like to go to, especially when I'm talking about drama. And where did that all begin? Dragnet. Joe Friday, Frank Gannon, out there on the beat. Just the facts, ma'am. 18. Dun 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 bam bam. Yes, 90210. Jason Priestley, Luke Perry. They try their best to carry this show along, but they could only carry it to number 18 on my list. Because Andrea and Donna, two characters in this show, really drag it down. Some of their storylines I don't care about, I don't want to see, I don't want any part of, but they're there. But still, I think one of the more badass lines I've heard, I don't recommend doing this in real life or saying this, but it came from Luke Perry, may he rest in peace, and his character Dylan McKay when he said, "May the bridges I burn light the way." Great line. Great show, but still number 18. And number 17, I'm going to go a little, I think this is a justified pick. Justified at number 17. And boy, do I love the kind of chemistry between Timothy Olyphant and Walton Goggins, as you see pictured here. Whether they're on the same side, whether they're battling each other, it's great television. We all know how much I love football. And so at number 16, it's got to be Friday Night Lights. I know you got this show All American out here on Netflix making the rounds, but it should be renamed All Trash because that's not a good television show, whereas Friday Night Lights following the Panthers and these kids' lives and the coaches' lives and how they intersect and how they kind of work together for this common goal and how they are dealt with in their school. It's just a great, great series, and I recommend it to everybody. At 15, I'm going to have to go Into the Night. I'm filming this Into the Night, and we are into the night with this show. I understand if this is one that maybe you can't do because it is dubbed over, but the story of this show, the writing, the content, the visuals, I am bought in. I'm okay. I overlook the dubbing, and I am bought Into the Night. At 14, only 2 seasons, but 2 really strong seasons. Since it's only 2, it's got to be number 14. IMposters. What a great show. I wish it would have gone to season 3, but the channel that it was on, Bravo, no bravo for them because although it had great support and great viewership, they just, for some reason, didn't bring it back for season 3. And that's sad, but still a great show, even for its only 2 seasons. At 13, I'm going to go to The Killing. Yes, those 3 C's again. Cops, criminals, and creativity. The Killing has it. The twists and turns. Are the cops in on this? Is one of them a serial killer? What's going on? Are they helping each other? Man, I love the chemistry between these 2 cops. Not really wanting to be partners, but they are partners. But then they kind of have this great relationship where there's some animosity. Maybe there's some love. Maybe they're getting misconstrued. So definitely check out The Killing. Find it wherever it's streaming. At number 12, Kevin Bacon is back and back with a bang. The Following. I just talked about twists and turns, how I loved it. I've talked about cops, criminals, and creativity. Maybe no more creative than The Following with its twists and turns. I binged through this. I raced through it. I couldn't go to sleep without finishing this because the cliffhangers left me on the edge of my seat and I had to know what happened next. This one might be a little shocking coming in at number 11, meaning it should have been higher in a lot of people's eyes, but I've got Law and Order SVU. Yes, Benson and Stabler there. We all know and love them and their chemistry. But recently, had about 20 strong seasons, but I think we're about on season 24. Kind of before COVID times, into COVID, past COVID, this show has fallen off a cliff. I can't watch it. I don't recognize it. I don't know what it is. It needs to change its name or preferably just be ripped from itself and taken off the air because These latest seasons and episodes are awful. At number 10, going in the nostalgia machine, going in the way back, and I'm going to MacGyver. No, not the reboot one that they had, the original with Richard Dean Anderson, Dana Elcar, Bruce McGill, Murdoch. You just got to love the ingenuity of MacGyver, wanting to know what he's going to come up with next, even though he seems like he doesn't have material to get out of this or to create this or to make this, how he's going to do it using the things around him. Great stories. You love the chemistry between the actors, the relationship on the screen, the writing. While it may be a little corny because it doesn't hold up, it was made back then in the 80s and 90s. Does it hold up? Maybe in some areas, not quite, but in some, it definitely does. Number 9, another dubbed over show, but man, it is a banger. Money Heist. Man, when this came out, it was a phenomenon. The masks, the bank robbing, and the professor, as you see there in the middle in the suit. What a show. It kind of goes in some avenues, takes some routes, some wokeness that I wouldn't have gone to, but still, it doesn't really delve into that. It's not heavy in that. So the story of this, the journey of these bank heists and the reasoning behind it and how they're kind of outsmarting and fooling the police gets you bought in from the word go. All right, we're at number 8 here, and I'm going to go Jack Bauer, 24. You want to talk about edge of your seat? You want to talk about twists and turns? Is the government against Jack Bauer? Is his own family against him? Are his friends against him? Maybe yes in some scenarios, maybe no in some others. But man, Jack Bauer seems to get out of anything. Can he get out of anything? You're going to have to tune in to watch, but there's never a show that I have struggled to say, I guess I have to go to sleep because it just goes on for so many seasons, but I have to know what's going to go on next. Oh, 24. If I could go back and watch it for the first time, I'd give anything. All right, number 7. If you've ever seen Karate Kid, loved it, liked it, or even were indifferent about it, any one of those 3, and you will love Cobra Kai. It mixes the new age with the nostalgia seamlessly. Unlike Fuller House, which I shouldn't even be talking about, but is out here trying to force social media and the newness. And this isn't like in the old days where they had their landline. I'm making a post on TikTok. I'm making a post on Instagram. No, Cobra Kai fits in well, doesn't beat you over the head with this new age technology and social media. And it kind of fits in the world of the movie, just bringing it to the present day. And you still get that taste of nostalgia with the characters of the past, mixing in with these kids of the new while they're in Cobra Kai. And Miyagi-Do, so well done. 5 stars. Please go see it if you haven't. If you think this is a rehashed reboot of a great movie and it's not going to live up to it, it does. Now we get into number 6, another Wayback Machine, another nostalgia trip. And a lot of you may be like, what is this doing on the list? But I love it so much. Highway to Heaven with Michael Landon. You see Victor French there. Michael Landon, I think, is the greatest actor of all time, my favorite actor. And if you just want to find something that's wholesome, that restores your faith in humanity, even if it's only in a TV show, because it seems like we stray further and further away from leaving our doors unlocked, your neighbor being someone you can trust. Everyone is in this human race together, and we're all bound in this thing, and we're all supporting each other and helping each other. Maybe we're straying further and further away from that, but if you want to believe in that again, if you want to have your faith in this society restored, I can't recommend enough Highway to Heaven. It'll move you to tears. Number 5, this one came out of left field for me. No way did a show about corporate law make its way to number 5 on my list, but it has. It's Suits. Just the name Suits feels stodgy and boring and stuffy. That's not going to be something I'm interested in, but it is. The relationship between Mike and Harvey that you see on screen here is just one that you wish you could have, a best friend like that, where you're ribbing each other, where you're there for support, and they're challenging each other to be the best lawyer. Even though Mike didn't go to law school, his mind is second to none. And this show is really second to none when you think about corporate law. How are they going to make a show out of that, let alone an interesting show, let alone, dare I say it, one of the best shows ever made? This one shocked and surprised me. I didn't expect it, but it was a pleasant surprise. At number 4, Wayback Machine. Twilight Zone, Rod Serling. There's never been another like Rod Serling. Whoo, man, the uniqueness that he possessed. All your horror movies and TV shows and sci-fi ripped Twilight Zone brick from brick, taking from the mind of Rod Serling. There's never been another like him, and there never will be. Let's just face it. Each one of these episodes just banger after banger after banger. Yes, a few fall short, but when you look at it, the vast majority are amazing. And there's like 36 episodes in a season, a ton of seasons. So for only a few to maybe not live up to his others, oh, that batting average stands alone. And number 3, a lot of people say this is number 1, maybe number 2. I've got it at number 3 just because I like some others better, but don't mistake it for being number 3 for it not being great. And maybe these are all tied 1A, 1B, 1C, but I've got The Wire coming in at number 3. Shit. Number 3. Where Wallace at, String? Come on, where Wallace at? You got to love McNulty and Bump and their relationship. And just you go into this inner city of Baltimore and the drugs and the murder and these cops, they're just trying to clear murders off the board. But McNulty is hard-headed and he's going to solve all these different cases, whether they have the money or not, the manpower or not. He's going to work overtime. He's not going to go home. From start to finish, this may be one of the stronger series that we've ever seen. Number 2, I'm going to go Dexter. Yes, the lovable Dexter Morgan, although is a complex character, we shouldn't love him, but we do. He's killing the bad guy, so that makes it okay, right? It's still killing. I don't know here. No due process involved with Dexter Morgan except for his own. Judge, jury, and executioner. But it falls short because the ending of the original series I didn't like, and then the New Blood, Dexter New Blood, that ending was an abomination. Could not happen. People justifying it online. Well, he's a bad guy. It had to happen. I mean, what else could have happened? He could have gone away with his son, gotten away, and done anything else. The series could have continued. They introduced Batista coming back and possibly having a confrontation with Dexter. But no, that never happens. That doesn't go anywhere. But still, it's such a great series. It's got to be number 2 on the list. Now we get to number 1. And of course, it is the greatest show that everyone says it is. It is this, Breaking Bad at number 1. I'll get to that in a minute. Breaking Bad. Walter White, another complex character that you're not supposed to love, but you do love. I mean, he is doing it for his family. He's got cancer. He's not going to be able to be there to provide. So yeah, we love him, right? But he does a lot of really bad things. So maybe we shouldn't just ask one of Jesse's girlfriends if we should be rooting for this character or not. As he lets her choke on her own vomit. Maybe we shouldn't be rooting for him, but we still do. Seasons 1 through 4, the build-up and the climax to the end of season 4 with Gus Fring, the ultimate villain in any television series. There's no television that can match seasons 1 through 4 and the build-up and the culmination of that. But season 5 falls a little bit off with this kind of prison gang. And yes, Hank finds out, and that makes for some good television. But it just, once you lose Gus Fring, it's hard to build back up and live up to that. So thank you for watching my top 20 drama television series of all time. Before we get out of here, I'm going to mention the one that I started to say and has been left off my list. Maybe I built it up because everybody said it was the best ever, that I was like, all right, show me what you got. Is this the best ever? Come on. And then I was like, it didn't quite live up to that. If I had a top 25, a top 30, the show would be there. And of course, I'm talking about Sopranos. Maybe it's the wife. Maybe it's the kids. Maybe it's the therapist. Maybe it's that I'm just not huge in the mafia thing. I don't know, but for whatever, this fell a little bit short of my top 20 because it's just not a show that I'm going to go back and watch again. All these others are shows I'll watch multiple times in the rest of my life. But The Sopranos, I watched it once. I'm not going to go back to it. So it's probably just right outside my top 20. I know it's great. I know it has a cult following. I know people love it. So I'm so sorry. But what else did I leave off here? What else am I forgetting? Please let me know in the comments. I want to hear it. I'll be there letting you know kind of my reasoning on some of these. Hopefully you found something on this list of my 20 that you'll go watch and that you'll find and that you will like and love and be a fan of. If you do watch something and you like it or you don't like it, let me know. Let me hear it in the comments. Thank you for watching. And as always, we will see you next time.